Hey everyone, we're here on Next Island, and today I thought we would work on these sharks again. We're still working on this VIP status thing, um, and we'll also get some codex from this. Let's pull. Oh, there it is. We already got it up, I guess. But people have asked to see what sort of setup I'm using for this, and so I'm just buying the LR35s. I got these Ignite scope or sight on the sweet scope. And I'm just using this extender just because the markup between the 35 and these extenders, I think the extenders are like 105%. These are like 120-ish percent. And so it's just a decay absorber is all. I don't have a good amp to be using on these Armatrex weapons, so if anyone has a good one that they recommend, let me know. Maybe we'll try and pick it up. The amp I pulled out of the, we'll go ahead and get started too. The amp I pulled out of the Christmas boxes is actually too powerful for these weapons. Oh, I also want to, let's get a little bit of pill use going on here. Just so that we can get some pretty serious skill gains going on. These old alphas have a pretty significant amount of hit points. And so we'll hopefully kind of stick to maybe some of the lower maturities as we move kind of to the north here. But we're just out in the ocean over here on the west side of Next Island. And we'll get a pretty reasonable loot list, I think. They have a meaning that they have a lot of things that you can drop, and since they're 800,000 hit point type mobs, I'm not sure exactly what their actual hit points are, but they're pretty significant. You have the ability to dump enough that you'll get more than just shrapnel sometimes. And so, like on that last one you saw, we got 4 things, and I kind of expect that to be the case moving forward. And so we should get a reasonable sample of their loot list, especially the common stuff. Oh, a prowler, man, these are kind of high maturities from the last time we were out here. That's alright, we're gonna see if we can take this one. This is about as hard as it's gonna get for us, I think. I mean, Stalker's obviously the next one up, but that's kind of the top of the maturity list. Oh, that was a nice little critical, but it's only did 15 points, so we're pretty protected against their damage types with this armor. And this is that Mayhem armor that you can find in the auction house from time to time. And then we got the Imperium officer plates on it, which add a little bit. I'll pull them up. So this is what we got going on. We got these Mayhem, and then we got these officer plates that are stab, impact, cut, and burn. I don't think the burn's coming into play right now, but the impact, cut, stab, I think that's a possibility. Maybe we're too far to the north already. Maybe we should head more south. Oh, that one's stuck. Now he's free. In any event, we have to kill 1,000 of these in total. And then we'll have to track down this island shirt blueprint. For whatever reason, I don't have one. Ooh, that was a nice hit, though. 60. Well, that hit way harder than the Prowler did. That's kind of interesting. I mean, it's a damage range. you know, from half to full damage, basically. Oh, nice. These guys drop perpite crystal, it looks like. So, so far, we've got wool, amylite, agarine. They're dropping some thyroid oil based on their level, I think. Anhydrite, perpite, animal eye oil. So we're getting both these, maybe. I'll keep my eye out. The eye oil seems kind of weird. And obviously, we're going to get a bunch of shrapnel, too. Let's kind of see what. I haven't really looked at how our progress on the Codex is going. Let's see what we're getting per kill here. Oh, that was almost a whole percent. Nice. All right, we're going to go south. Maybe they're a little. Well, I was hoping for like maybe some olds or to dominate instead of all these alphas and whatnot. All right, so I guess we're going north. Since I didn't really see much to the south there. Here we are. And so by the time we get through this VIP status, the kill part anyway, we should have a few ranks of this Codex knocked out. I noticed we haven't got a lot of Codex done rank-wise here on Next Island and Ancient Greece. And so this should bump us up a little bit. As you can see, we're only on rank, working on the 4th rank. So we still have a lot of Codex left on this particular mob. But a lot of the mobs are kind of across their share Codex on this planet, like the Minotaurs. Um, there's like the Argus, the Brontus, and then the Minotaurs. I think they all count for just Minotaurs. Oh, nice. There's some Zinsight. I'm not sure exactly. Oh, a Prowler again. I'm not sure exactly what we need for our little crafting run that we want to work on. I'd like to do that crystalline core quest at least once. It's a lot to collect to do often, but it would be interesting to do once. And I think it's on some chain quest where you have to do that one at some point. You have to do a bunch of the missions or whatnot. We're not quite to the point where we're trying to work on that. But I did kind of want to work on this one. Push comes to shove, maybe we can pay to borrow someone's island shirt blueprint once we have enough materials to do the hour run or 40-minute run that 500 clicks should be. The next island community is pretty helpful. All in all, filled with a lot of nice people. And so we'll see about knocking out a small chunk of this today. Hopefully get at least one of the Codex ranks. Hopefully we'll start working on rank 5 after, well, at some point during the kill fest we're going to have going on these sharks today. We'll see. That's about 40 kills or so. We'll see how long that takes us. Maybe we can get something interesting to drop along the way. Oh, maybe we just weren't out far enough. That could be. This is definitely a little more populated. Looks like we're about to drop off the edge a little bit. Well, at least they're not all the top end maturities. At least we're still getting some of these dominants and whatnot. I think these are the guys that drop that tiger's eye that's used to make the mankini as well. I think it's a tiger's eye agate, maybe. It's not it's one of their uncommon drops, we'll say. I don't know how rare it is. We've got it to drop, so it can't be super rare, but it's definitely more common than obviously what we're getting to drop. Like that amylite's really common. We get that all the time. And these guys realistically are probably a little above where we should be hunting. Um, our DPS is a little low for something like this. This is the biggest rifle we can use. The only reason we're doing it is to kind of work through that VIP status quest a little bit. Um, later we'll be doing some mining. We buy an amp just to mine on Next Island. I don't amp mine on any other planet. And it's literally just for this quest as well. Well, that one wasn't bad. And I kind of think that'll be the part that hems us up the most. I think finding the blueprint to do the crafting run and finding out what we need for 500 island shirts, I don't think that'll be as bad. It'll be maybe a little expensive, but not too crazy. Um, I think the hitting 50 next island ores is kind of what's going to take us the most time. We're not an amazing miner by any stretch of the imagination, and so we'll be depending on the amp to hit for us because we got to get. I think it's 3 pet on this quest and above, and like my average hit is probably only like 1.5 unamped. Again, we haven't done a lot of mining, so our skill's relatively low in that regard. Ooh, that was a nice critical against us, almost 50 points on top of our armor. So these sharks are not messing around. Like, they hit pretty hard. You're going to need serious armor and a fair amount of DPS to kind of burn them down. And if you show up too early, you're just wasting resources. And they take too long. Your efficiency in killing them is low. You're taking extra damage on your armor, so it decays faster. Oh, nice. Let's put our little enhancer on. Makes it a little eco. It'll stretch it out a little further. And that was just an eco enhancer for the tier 2. We used to have some ones for the tier 1, but they all broke and I haven't got around to replacing them yet. And a lot of times I'll just use the eco enhancers to kind of slow the decay on some of the Amatrex rifles because once you're at 120% markup, that can really take what would have been a I just lost a little bit and really kind of dump it down a little further for you. And so the more you can kind of counter that, the better up you are sometimes. Um, Again, that's why we use that P20 decay absorber. Oh, now we're getting into the lower maturities. So I was not far enough out. Is what it looks like to me. These ones are going to be much nicer and quicker to kill. We probably won't get quite as much codex for them, but the speed at which we're able to... Oh, nice. Little global there. Shrapnel and a little bit of wool. Fine wool. Any global is a good global. Everyone loves them trumpets. Oh, these sharks are a little more densely populated, it looks like. That'll be nice. Won't have to swim so far between kills. Help really start pushing us up towards that next codex rank, which we'll get a attribute pick on this next one as well. Because each codex rank you get is worth 20% towards the attribute challenge. But we're getting pretty good skills today, and so hopefully we can move on to that LR40 at some point. Make this a little quicker, maybe open up a few more hunts to us. We're going to turn around and hit that big grouping behind us now. Oh, that one just spawned an aggroed. After this next one, maybe. The good news is they kind of get in each other's way when multiples start attacking you sometimes. It kind of limits the amount they can kind of get on you and hit you. Which hopefully you're not having to deal with too much by pulling them with a pretty good range weapon. Whether that's a mine force or a rifle. Even if you're melee, once you get to this density, you don't want to have to constantly have 5 or 6 on you. You're going to take a lot of decay on your armor and an extra cost that you wouldn't have to. Nice. These are probably the weakest ones we can find now. But even the small ones have a okay amount of hit points. And are still worth over 0.5% on the Codex. Now when they start respawning, there's a chance we start getting swarmed a little bit. Obviously, depending on where they respawn. But we're a quarter of the way through the total kill count now. And the VIP status that we're working on just opens up a building and some extra quests for us. go ahead and turn the music up a little bit, maybe. Maybe I just don't have it high enough to hear. Oh, we're getting swarmed a little bit. I kind of like the music Next Island's got going on. I kind of expected this other one over here to aggro, although it might just barely be out of the aggro range for these sharks. Oh, that was kind of a big one too, a prowler. We still haven't got any of that Tiger's Eye agate, I don't think. Although, as you can see, they got a reasonable loot list. You can get a whole smattering of stuff. And we've got enough eye oil now that it's for sure dropping off the sharks. So they drop eye oil, thyroid oil. I'm assuming based on their maturity. I wasn't paying that close attention if we're just being honest. And then there's this adrenal oil we got off some of them. And so the oil has got to be tied to the level of the shark a little bit. And so with the adrenal being lowest, I'm assuming that's more on the prowler side of when we were getting it. But we're getting like 3-4 different types of oils. And these guys obviously do span a wide level range. Oh, that was a nice one too. 35 ped, 37 ped. Really excited about the amount of skills we're getting. The looter, or not the looter, the damage skill is kind of what's hemming us up on moving to the next rifle. And so getting some anatomy and whatnot is really going to help us out. It'll help out our looter level a little bit too. But again, that's one of our leading skills just based on the. So we spent a bunch of time on Tolan a few years back, where I was literally just swanting through the Kill 200 daily for anatomy while going through the iron missions that were getting phased out. And so I finished that daily. I don't even have a clue how many times, except a lot. Like hundreds of times, probably. Alright, we're in the last 10% of this codex rank, so that's always exciting. We'll get to select a skill, and this time we get to select an attribute, so it's like a double bonus. And again, we get that every 5 codex ranks. And we just swam to the side just so we could immediately target the next one. Well, once this one stops dodging and we actually kill it, you know. Small details. We're gonna have a nice stack of this amylite crystal by the end. We keep getting a bunch of that. What are we up to here? Over 25 ped worth already? Yeah. So that is definitely one of their more common drops. I mean, outside of shrapnel, that's everything's most common drop, I think. Oh, that was a nice one. 45 ped. So we're getting the occasional pretty decent multiplier out here today. So I think it's this one and the next one will give us that codex rank, and then we'll figure out what skill we get to select. It's a rank 4, so I'm thinking that's a dexterity. I forget if it's dex, perception, or perception, dex, typically. Because at this point, we're still just always selecting the looter skill. And yes, alertness and anatomy are looter skills, but alertness is super cheap. If we need to pick it up in the auction house, it seems to be readily available. And again, at a pretty low markup. And anatomy, again, is I think one of my leading skills. It's over. I think we broke 6,000 last time we were on Tolan. Um, but let's see what we get. Oh yeah, this is definitely perception. It's the only looter skill I'm seeing. But then we're gonna get an attribute one as well. I like intelligence over psyche for sure. Oh, and that one then gave us a profession level up in gardening, which they say they're gonna do something with at some point. And with that new Calypso deed migration, they issued out plot deeds for the people that had the non-X version of the CLDs when they got migrated onto the Entropia exchange. And we're gonna go ahead and pad our next little codex rank a little bit. See what kind of progress we can make on that. Still capitalize on the skill pill a little bit. That was a nice one as well, 43 ped. So again, periodically we're getting a pretty reasonable multiplier here today. I'm getting tag team. His friend snuck up from behind here. So yeah, they go from about a level 11 to a level 23 out here, which is a pretty wide range for a mob, honestly. Too bad we can't get one of those big multipliers on the Prowler that's going to take a bunch more ped to jump into. But I'll take a big multiplier on anything, honestly. $1 scratch ticket, big multiplier, yes please. Looks like we're still getting about 0.5% per kill even on the lower maturity ones. And the rank 5 skill is typically evasion, or evade, because the less hits we take, the better off we are. Now, occasionally they'll throw in like a biology or some other weird looter skill as an option, and so sometimes we'll deviate from that. It's not set in stone. Just like most of the time. Like when you go out to eat and you got a favorite sandwich at a spot, you're most likely to get that sandwich. However, you may one day get enticed by something else and get a different sandwich. This is exactly the same way. Maybe the special looked good that day. Oh, looks like one kind of respawned behind us. And I think we need that Zinzite crystal force. Was one of the materials that we were kind of trying to collect. Oh, 77% skill boost? That's pretty sweet. On top of our 50% skill bill. Skill pill. I kind of butchered that word. Should be getting some killer skill in for the next few minutes anyway. Oh, that was nice. Another 46 petter. So they're teasing us with the global, because we're right on the edge. That's like the third or fourth one like that we've got. Oh, that lepidocrosite crystal, I don't think we've got today. So that's got to be pretty rare. Low markup-ish, but rare enough. We haven't got very much, so yeah, and that was pretty good markup. So a bunch of the loots have reasonable markup on these guys as well. I mean, nothing stands out 400+%, but oh, there's that tiger eye. Like even the perpite's only 160%. Well, the tiger eye's 300%. So that's the one big one you can get, I guess. And then a bunch of the other stuff's not very high markup or likely to be hard to get rid of. Oh, getting tag teamed again. And then one spawned literally right under us. Oh, looks like our little skill boost just wore off. Yep, as soon as I pulled the trigger, I saw that other one spawn. I'll be honest, I don't know too much about the loot on Next Island because we don't come here too often. And so this is definitely not my normal stomping ground, so to speak. But we were able to get a bunch of different stuff today and make a pretty good chunk out of that, at least the kill part of that VIP quest. About 70 something kills today, it looks like. Ton of skills though. Really excited about that. I don't know why skilling up makes me so happy, but it does. And so I just go with it. Oop. Looks like another one joined in on us. But that puts us 20% of the way through that rank 5 of the Codex, which is about 3/4 of a Codex rank today as well. So that's super exciting, but I think we're going to wrap up here today. I hope everyone is having an amazing day. Stay epic.